All right, so here we go. Welcome, everyone. I appreciate everybody out there watching. If you could hear me, let me know in the comments. If you could see me fine, let me know in the comments as well. Big shout out to everybody out there. Who do we got in the house? Let's see. We got Tyler. Big shout out to Tyler. We got Richard. Big shout out to him too, man. Thanks so much for the support. Peter, thanks so much for watching, brother. Your support is great. A couple other guys, Sean, Alexia. And again, thanks so much for the support, everybody out there that is watching. I truly appreciate it. Again, if you could see me, let me know in the comments. If you could hear me, let me know in the comments as well. Let me move a couple of things out of the way here so I can see you guys. Last time we did one of this, and last time for whatever reason, the video wasn't showing on people's feed, and it was a big deal, and we had some issues with that. But again, I appreciate everybody's support, and definitely appreciate the support that there we go. Tyler said we good. So I appreciate the support, and I appreciate all you guys out there liking, sharing, subscribing to the channel. You guys are great. Definitely great support to the channel. I appreciate it. I'm trying to figure out how to, let me see, how can I position myself kind of like in the center, but there we go. So anyways, today we're going to talk about engaging a threat. You know, I've been asked this question multiple times, and like I said in past videos, I don't go too much into like, tactics and techniques and things like that, because there's so many channels here that do that, and some of those guys do a great job. I mean, they have the ability, the capabilities, they have the plays, they have the ability to teach. So but every now and then I go and talk about a couple of things just because it's fun, right? It's fun to make this type of videos. But again, so we're going to talk about that. Before I get into that, make sure you like the video. If you like this type of video, like them, share the videos. It really helps the channel when you guys do things like that. It's awesome because, again, it's sharing that video is just gonna bring more people to the channel, and that's kind of like what we're trying to do over here. Trying to wait for a few minutes to see who's gonna show up here. So again, after I talk about this, we're probably gonna go and talk about whatever Q&A. I've been trying to do these videos every Wednesday at 9:45 p.m. Eastern time, and again, it just gives me a chance to come up here and engage and talk a little bit with some of you guys and answer some questions. I definitely get a bunch of questions, so it's kind of nice to be able to do that. So again, big shout out to Kiefer. Son, he's here. Hope you're doing good, brother. I appreciate you stopping by. But engaging a threat. So let's just jump into it real quick, so I could go back into the Q&A question and answerings. But engaging a threat is something that a lot of people ask me about it. Which one is the first? Well, which one is the first one that should I engage? Should I engage the guy closer to me? Should I engage the guy that is a little bit far away from me? What is some of the requirements or some of the things that I have in consideration, or I should take in consideration? So again, I think about this because I did a ton of training about this in the Marine Corps. And obviously, you never want to find yourself in this type of situation. I mean, it's just a bad place to be. When you find yourself in a situation where you have to pick which threat you're going to engage first, I mean, it's just a bad place. I mean, it just sucks. So again, but you may find yourself in that situation based on the fact that we're seeing a lot of active shooter situation, maybe a home defense, maybe a home invasion, things like that. Maybe multiple suspects. Everybody says that, at nighttime, and some type of home defense, you may find yourself dealing with multiple suspects or multiple criminals. So which one you're going to engage first? And the reality is that it's not simple, but at the same time it is in a way. A couple of things that I would take in consideration, and again, this is just my opinion. It will be, how close are you to that bad guy? For definitely, the closer that person is next to you, is possibly he's gonna be the first one committing some type of violent attack against you or something. The other one will be what kind of weapon that person have. What is their capability. So again, I will kind of base my opinion based on that. How close is that threat to me, and what capabilities does that bad guy have? So again, close meaning, if the guy has a knife and he's really close to me, and you have another guy with some type of other weapon a little bit far away from you, I mean, obviously you're gonna engage the guy that is closest to you with that capability. But now at the same point, what about if the guy has some type of pistol, some type of firearm or something like that? That's when the capability comes to place, come to play to this type of situation. Again, you may have a guy with a knife, I don't know, 10 yards, but then you have a guy with a gun at 20 yards. I mean, you're just in a bad situation. Any of those two threats could definitely take you out. So that's when you start thinking. So a lot of guys will tell you, well, how do I know that? Like, how can I make that determination? Like, all right, I got two bad guys in the middle of the night. I can't see those guys, and I had to decide which one I had to engage first. And the reality is that it's not going to be pretty. It's going to be ugly, and you can make mistakes. You may not be able to make mistakes, however it is, but the reality is that you're going to have to make decisions very, very quick. I mean, your decisions that could potentially get you killed, or could potentially get somebody killed, or somebody in your family killed, are going to be made in a split of a second. So again, like I said at the beginning, if you find yourself in that type of situation, it's just gonna be a bad deal. But you need to make that decision based on what capabilities that bad guy is and how close he is to you. So again, a guy that has a pistol at 25 yards, or let's say 50 yards, that guy may not be so much of a threat based on a guy that has a knife at 5 yards away from you. I mean, that guy could miss. The guy with the knife is really close to you. So me personally, I will I will pretty much make those two, I wouldn't say requirement, but two aspects as part of my training. Again, how close is that threat to you, and what kind of capabilities they have. When I was in the Marine Corps and when we trained to go to combat, they would do situation, or they would do scenarios like, hey, a bad guy has an RPG and a bad guy has an AK. Which one you think you're going to engage first? Obviously, you're going to engage the guy with the RPG first because he has higher capabilities. I mean, the type of gun that he has, or the type of firearms that he's utilizing, could potentially kill you and your entire squad. So things like that is definitely what you got to keep in mind. So again, let me know what you think. Put comments down below. Let me see who's out there. Smith, thanks a lot for showing up, brother. Big shout out to you. Appreciate you watching. No doubt. Tyler is still out there. Tyler's the biggest fan of the one of the biggest fan of the channel. He been with us for quite some time. You got 114 subscribers. You may have to put some videos. Sometime you're gonna have to start putting some videos. So again, check it out, guys. I mean, there's going to be a lot of things. I mean, obviously, like I said at the beginning of the video, this is just a conversation. By no means I'm trying to, give you all the details that there are out there. I got to tell you, engaging a threat, it takes a lot. Not only you're going to deal with that, capability and how close is that threat. I mean, you're going to deal with a lot of things. How are you prepared to deal with that situation? Again, that's why, and I almost forgot to say this, that's why we always, I always say, you know what, you should have some type of light right here. You should have some type of light in your firearm at nighttime for home defense, because again, you want to be able to see the bad guy. Not only you want to identify that he's a bad guy, you also want to identify what he's doing. What kind of behavior he's showing. Maybe he has obviously if he has a gun, obviously if it's, there is a lot of things that you want to be able to see to engage. You have multiple suspects. The fact that you have this light is going to allow you to to see who has a gun, who has a knife, who has what kind of weapon. I mean, there's a lot that you could gain out of being able to see the bad guy. So that's why we always talk about, having a flashlight in the gun. You want to be able to see the bad guy. And Milo's like right there. He's just like looking at me. Hopefully he doesn't stop barking, because he barks really loud. So again, let me if you guys got questions, put them down in the comments. Let me see what are you guys are saying. Peter said he's the bigger fan. So okay, that's good. All you guys are great. All you guys are great. So let me see some of the comment. What was my MOS in the Marine Corps? My MOS was military police. That's a 5811. I also had a 5814. That is physical security. Once you pick up corporal, typically you go into a secondary MOS, and you could go into like SRT, which is kind of like the SWAT. You could go into K9. You could go into basic military, not basic military police. I'm sorry, physical security inspectors. Physical security deals a little bit more with security, like showing up to a place or a base and making sure that that base has whatever security requirements has been implemented by the DoD. So again, there's a lot of things that go into physical security. Let me see. I am a huge fan for about 2 years. Okay, Kiefer's a huge fan. You are a great fan too, man. I truly supported that. I shouldn't make that comment. Once I say somebody's one of the best fan, I knew that was gonna get me in trouble. So yeah, you're a great fan too, brother. I appreciate that too as well. Let's see. If you guys got questions, put them down. And again, this allows me to kind of answer some of your questions. Do you choose your secondary MOS? No, not really. I talked about this in a video. Here's how it works. Once you secondary MOSs or additional MOSs are kind of not complicated, but they are the type of a MOS that typically you get once you re-enlist. Now K9 is a little bit different. K9, a lot of they give Marines to go to K9 a little bit different, but typically once you re-enlist, or typically once you've been in the Marine Corps for quite some time, the Marine Corps decides to send you to a secondary MOS. Now the way it works, it all comes down to allocations. How many allocations that company or that battalion has. Usually the school comes to the higher command, and they start going down until it gets to the basic Marine that is going to go to that school. So a lot of times I wouldn't say you have to be lucky, but you have to be in the right place at the right time. I'll give you an example. I never wanted to go to physical security school. I didn't. I re-enlisted in the Marine Corps 2006. I was in my second term. Wow, 10 years ago. And I was walking by the hallway, and the master guns just asked me. He was like, "Hey, you just re-enlisted?" And I said, "Yes." And he was like, "Guess what? You're going to physical security school." Didn't really want to go to that school. What I really wanted to do was accident investigation, which I want to say is a 5813 MOS. That's what I actually wanted to do. And I didn't do that. I went to the physical security route. But again, even though I went through that school and I got that MOS, I really didn't work on doing that. I did about 12 months in Afghanistan, where I was tasked to do some physical security missions, where we went into bases and inspected the base for security. But other than that, I really didn't do much. So again, you have to be in the right place at the right time. You want to be prepared. You want to be square away. You want to have a good physical fitness test. You want to be like really good, because before you go to a secondary MOS, there's requirements. You got to make sure you're on good physical fitness. You got to make sure you pass weight standards. A lot of times before they even send you to school, they weigh you, and if you're fat, you're not gonna make it. Was I safe before I became a Marine? No. Richard put a question mark. Safe is kind of like it's a term pretty much used by Christians, meaning if you are saved, meaning that you accepted Christ as your Lord and Savior. No, I was not. I wish I wish I would have. It would have saved me some headaches and some stupid things that I did, but I was not. I talked about being a Christian in the Marine Corps. It could be Coke Zero. It could be very challenging to do, but yeah, good point uh, Kiefer talking about USCCA. You know, some guys are getting insurance for the concealed carry. I have now. I think it may be. I think it may be a good idea to do, but I have never really looked into that. So not really sure, man. Not really sure how much it costs. Not really sure all that stuff. But it could be beneficial to actually do it. So again, if you one of you guys have that, put it down in the comments. If any of you guys have insurance, let us know. I know a couple of guys have talked about it, and a couple of guys do enjoy. All right, so if you haven't watched my video on the battle box, there has been some dilemma. Check out this knife. I want to show you this. So this is a knife that came in the battle box. Now I looked into this, like I actually went online and see how much this costs. Let me see. I don't want to cut it myself. And I found it for about I want to say $130, $140. This knife is sweet. Like this knife is really, really nice. And I have had some dilemma. Oh, people get people get so mad sometimes. It's kind of funny, but I have had people asking, hey, you know what? I like the battle boxes. I like the subscription boxes, but it's not something that I want to do. I want to be able to spend my money and things that I know and things that I want and things that I totally get that. So again, when I do this kind of videos, and you guys got to understand that companies send this stuff to the channel for me to review, for me to, T&E, try it, let you guys know my opinion. But the reality is that I try to review things that I like. That's the reality. Because making this video, other than this live event, it's kind of easy to do because I just, go live kind of thing. But making this type of videos takes time, and a lot of times takes money. So a lot of guys don't get it. A lot of guys think that you just go to your backyard and it is what it is. But the reality is that it's not. Making this type of videos do cost money, and it takes time. For example, this right here. Let's see if you can see it. This right here is a monopad that has this fluid head. Hopefully you can see it. And again, and it's supposed to allow me to move the camera a little bit better and things like that. Guess what, guys? I paid $200 for this thing, and my wife bought it for me. Was it my birthday or something? Anyways, one of those things. My wife bought it for me, and I did that, and I was able to get that. Now, the reason why I tell you guys that is because a lot of companies send this stuff here to the channel for us to do the videos. So I try to spend my time and my money on things that I do enjoy. I don't spend my money and time on things that I don't like. So when I do the videos, I try to come across, I try to come across like, hey, this is what I like about it. This is what I don't like about it. But again, it's ultimately your guys' decision. If you're gonna buy it or not, don't take what I said. If you're taking everything that I said to like be the right thing, I mean, you need to listen to people. You need to seek out information. You need to listen to the right people. But then you need to make your own decision. And I wouldn't make my decision just on what I say. Again, I think the highest box for battle box is like $150. To some of you guys, that may be like no big deal, but to me, that's a lot. I can't afford to pay $150 a month on a box that It's probably going to bring some good items, but I don't know it specifically. I don't have that type of money. Some of you guys may do, and you know what? That's great. But again, you guys got to make your own decisions. A lot of times people get all upset and hey, you know what? You shouldn't review this. You shouldn't review that. And it's kind of like, come on, man. First of all, I'm going to review what I want to review in the channel. And second of all, if you don't like it, if you just don't watch the video or don't buy it. I mean, I watch videos all the time that I'm like, hey, you know what? I don't like that. But I don't know why people get all mad about it. But again, just a little rant about that. Would I recommend SBR if you're talking about a short barrel rifle? I mean, yes, I don't. If you could, here's the deal. Once you start getting into guns, a lot of times you start getting into guns, and eventually, you're gonna buy several guns, and eventually you want to go through that next step. You know, sometimes you don't really need it, but sometimes it's just fun to have. So first of all, it would be fun to have a rifle like that, no doubt about that. It will be a lot of fun. Can it bring some beneficial aspects to your security? Yes. I mean, shorter rifle means that you're going to lose some velocity because the barrel is, again, it's a short barrel rifle, but at the same time, it's going to be easier to maneuver. You know, here's the thing. I think I'm going to do a video where I'm going to talk about shotguns for home defense. And I was thinking about this topic the other day, and little brother was like, man, you're going to create some drama. And I was going to talk about some things, you know, like 3 things that I don't know what I'm going to name it yet, but it was going to be like, you know, 3 negative things about, you know, shotguns during a home defense. And one of the things that I was going to talk about is that a rifle or shotgun is a longer firearm. So that requires training, and that requires for you to know how to move inside a house. And you know, a lot of people see people clearing a house and they think this is like Call of Duty, you know. Oh, it's going to be nice and easy. I'm going to go room by room. I'm going to go through the hallway. And the reality is that clearing a house takes a lot of training. It takes a lot of communication. It takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot, because a longer rifle is harder to control. So to me, it's like, hey, you got a shorter rifle, you're going to be able to control it a little bit better. So it does have some good positive aspects. If you have the money, why not? You know, I was thinking about getting a barrel for the Glock 17, you know, a threaded barrel, and get a silencer or suppressor. I don't know what's the proper term. Don't kill me. Just for fun. Why not, you know? So all right, so let's see. Was a lot of people been asking about MARSOC. The reality is that I wasn't able to 5811s weren't able to go to MARSOC. 5812s, which is K9, were able to go into MARSOC. But if you go into MARSOC and you go into the website, there's a ton of information there what you could do to try it out. All I'm saying is that you have to be in really good shape, and just be careful what you ask for, guys. I mean, again, you know, we talk about, some of you guys are talking about here like deployments. Deployments could be could impact your life for many years. And when you see things that says, hey, you got to be a corporal to do this, or you got to be a corporal to do that, you got to be a sergeant to do this, don't really hold that requirement. You know, for example, you know, you have to be a corporal to go into SRT or physical security, and we send lance corporals. Always think about a job that requires a specific rank. Always think about a rank below, and always think about a rank above that. So let's see. So what is it to be kind of like being on deployment? You know, this is where you're gonna get different opinions. You know, every Marine is gonna tell you something different. You know, people will say, "How do you like the Marine Corps?" And they're gonna tell you, "Hey, I like it because A, B, and C." You know, again, if you ask somebody that is a recruiter, like the career recruiters, that stay the whole time in the United States recruiting would tell you something totally different than the guy that have done 6-7 deployments. If you ask the guy that is a supply clerk, will tell you something different than a guy that is an infantry guy. Again, that's why I always tell people, ask people that being in that type of occupation. If you ask guys in the military police, you have two fields. You have the field side, which means you're going to be doing combat operations, and then you have the law enforcement side, which means you're going to be working as a police officer. Now, I did maybe 2.5 years or something like that in the law enforcement side, and I probably did 8 years in the other side, in the field side, where we train for combat operations. So again, people would tell you opinions based on their experience. I went to Afghanistan, Iraq. I was in a mule. I was on a ship for 6 months. I mean, my operation tempo was back to back to back to back. It was constantly shooting, moving, and communicating. It was constantly training. It was constantly doing a lot of stuff. When I went to on deployment, again, you go on deployment, you may go to Afghanistan and you have we call them the FOBs. You know, they never go out of the FOB. I mean, I legitimate deployed with a guy for 12 months that spent 12 months inside the base and never left the base. And inside that base, they were everything you could think about it. You know, they did your laundry and they gave you ice cream and all that stuff. But if you never went up there to the front line, you kind of miss that experience, or you kind of left out from that. So it's kind of hard to answer your question, because again, what are you going to do? What is your mission? If you're going to be the postman in Afghanistan, maybe you're going to be delivering mail in Afghanistan. If you're an infantry guy, you're probably going to be killing the enemy. So again, it's going to be up to what you're going to do, what's your mission, and again, what are you going to be doing? I say, if you're an infantry guy or a combat MOS, you're going to be killing the enemy. That's not cool at all. I mean, that's just not cool. I mean, you're going to find yourself in situations that you're never going to forget, and your buddies are probably going to get killed, and you could get killed, and it's not a game. I mean, a lot of people think it's a game. It's not really a game. Peter, you made my day by mentioning me. If it was, I don't know if you're talking to me or somebody in the comments, but hey, man, I appreciate your support here. Okay. Okay, Miss from Jamaica. That's cool. Well, we appreciate Miss Jones being here in the channel. We thank you for your support, and we tried to do this. I've been trying to do this at 9:45 Eastern time every Wednesday, and it's working out. This is the second one. I kind of go live sometimes when I have time, but the reality is that, I mean, this is crazy. We work, church, family, and like today I came from work, and I was so tired when I came from work today that I went to sleep. I slept for like an hour. I got up. I wanted to record some videos, and I just couldn't take it. I couldn't even stay awake. So, but I love doing this because, I mean, again, this is fun. So, rules of engagement is dictated by the military, and essentially it's your guidance. It's your guidance on how you're going to engage the enemy. There's going to be some requirements, and you're going to learn them before you leave, before you go on deployment. Excuse me. And they are really, really important. First of all, it's going to allow you to have a baseline. So again, you don't go to jail for killing somebody that is not there, but that is not a bad guy. But again, I think, me personally, the rules of engagements were a little bit too strict compared to all the deployments, like 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029, 2030, 2031, 2032, 2033, 2034, 2035, 2036, 2037, 2038, 2039, 2040, 2041, 2042, 2043, 2044, 2045, 2046, 2047, 2048, 2049, 2050, 2051, 2052, 2053, 2054, 2055, 2056, 2057, 2058, 2059, 2060, 2061, 2062, 2063, 2064, 2065, 2066, 2067, 2068, 2069, 2070, 2071, 2072, 2073, 2074, 2075, 2076, 2077, 2078, 2079, 2080, 2081, 2082, 2083, 2084, 2085, 2086, 2087, 2088, 2089, 2090, 2091, 2092, 2093, When the war started in Iraq, the rules of engagements were different. But at the same time, I think they're necessary because there has to be some type of guidance before you engage the enemy. So they would describe everything. They would tell you how to engage, when to engage, the distance. I mean, all depends on your mission. One of the things that you're gonna know that before you go into a mission, the Marines, whoever's the squad leader, whoever's in charge of the patrol will brief the mission. And I done this multiple times, and during that briefing, they're going to cover the rules of engagements, and they're going to cover the what if, hey, if this happened, we're going to do this, if this, we're going to do that, and all that stuff. So big shout out to Archie. Thanks so much, sir, just for stopping by. If you want to join the army, check out his channel. He has a lot of information there. um let's see, let me try. Do you have firearms for wood carry? Not sure what you mean for, like, if you mean for woods, like when I go out there and in the woods. I guess. No, I mean, I don't have any gun specifically for that, but I treat all my guns as self-defense gun. I don't have pretty guns. All my guns are meant for the purpose of me shooting, having a great time, but also for self-defense situation. I work 2010 when I was in Afghanistan. I worked with civilian, and the funny thing about civilian, we actually had a lot of issues with the civilians because um, I moved civilians from point A to point B, and some of the civilians weren't allowed to have firearms. So a lot of times it's kind of funny in a way because a lot of times they will be like, hey, I don't want to go there because that place is really hot. There's a lot of bad things going on in that place. And there were several situations where we had to be like, look, man, the reason why we pay you $200,000 a year is because you may die. So you are going into this location. But again, I work with guys that set up cameras, set up different systems that we use to identify the bad guys and things like that. So yeah, I did work with those guys. They make a lot of money. A lot of them do a really good job, and a lot of guys do want to help Marines, so specifically the guys that left the Marine Corps or got out of the Marine Corps, got out of the military, Army, Marines, Air Force, Navy, all that stuff, and now want to help out by doing this civilian job. And then you have the guys that just went there to collect the paycheck and are trying to do the least that they can. So yeah, there's all kind of different guys there. uh okay, so MCMAP, that's a Marine Corps martial art program. And what it means is that as you go up in ranks, if you're not aware, the Marine Corps has a system where you're gonna have different belts. Now, let me see. I don't want to get this wrong. I made it to brown belt. After brown belt, it was black, and then you could become an instructor. So you go from tan belt to gray to green to brown belt, and then black. Now, the thing about this is that as you go through the ranks, it's kind of what I was saying, the same thing what I was saying with the secondary MOS. As you go through the rank, you are expected to have a belt. You are expected to continue the training. So, for example, once you make it to corporal and sergeant, you should be a green belt. Once you make it to like I was a brown belt as a sergeant, and I stayed with brown belt as a staff sergeant as well. I mean, I retired as a staff sergeant, but as you go up in ranks, you want to continue go up in belts because those belts get looked at you as kind of helps for your promotion in way if you go to merit towards promotion boards and things like that. But again, as you go up in ranks, guys, you should be improving yourself. So it makes no sense when you have a staff sergeant with 10 years in the Marine Corps and it's still a tan belt. I mean, have you done any training? Are you looking for self-improvement? Are you looking to improve? And a lot of guys that don't do it is because the simple fact that they can't. They're either fat, out of shape, and they just cannot keep up. I mean, you go through green and brown belt, and it's pretty hard. And again, Marines do stupid things. I mean, some of this training with Marines is out of control, so it hurts. So, okay. Yeah, yeah. Again, if you want to get sent over, they will send you over, buddy. Let me see. Oh man. So all right, so let me know if you guys got any questions. I think I'm gonna cut it short pretty soon. I appreciate everybody that is watching out there. You guys support is really awesome. So this is a good question. Yeah, Kiffer asked this in one of the comments. 380 versus 9 mil. Um, First of all, you carry a shield. The shield is awesome, man. What an awesome gun. I got a video coming up. I'm going to talk about it I'm going to talk about 2 years later with the shield. I mean, it's just an amazing pistol. I dig it. I love it. There is a 45 ACP coming up. And I think that I don't know. I think I got to find a way to buy it now with the baby coming up. I don't know how much money I got to spend. But the 45, I mean, I just dig it. But 380 versus 9 mil. Obviously, 9 mil is better. Obviously, 9 mil is the to me 9 mil is definitely superior. But you know what? I always look at it as I am the weapon. I am the guy that is gonna survive some type of situation. Again, not to say that a better gun is going to help you out, because there's always going to be a better tool for the occasion, but I am the weapon. So me personally, I feel comfortable carrying a Glock 42. I got 6+1 or 380, 380 auto. I mean, I got Hornery hollow point, so I got really good self-defense ammo. And based on my training, I feel very comfortable carrying that pistol. But again, if you say 9 mils better, I definitely, man. I mean, I can't, you can't argue that. It's just like it would be like arguing that the Glock 17 is a better gun than the Shield. I mean, this is a better gun for if you find yourself in a situation, you probably want to have this over the Shield. But it goes down to like also, concealed carry. I go to church, I go to Walmart, I go to work, I go to regular places, and I don't want to print, and I want to be extremely well concealed. And again, I don't want to be printing. I don't want to deal with none of that situation. So I feel comfortable carrying the Glock 42, but the Shield is definitely a better choice. Let's see. Oh, I wouldn't want to be shot by a 22 neither. Unless I have, I seen people being shot with M240 Golf, and yeah, talk about that. I won't even talk about that here. Opinions on the Ruger GP100. I think it's an awesome revolver. Awesome, just awesome. Everybody likes him, and everybody think it's great. Okay. Getting nervous about low capacity. I wouldn't, man. You know what? For concealed carry, low capacity. I mean, when it comes to home defense, I want to make sure that I have a lot of rounds. But I think that you are okay with what the shield carries. What, 7+1? You have your spare mag. I would not be. I wouldn't be worried about that. The reality is simple, guys. We always going to be like, hey, what about this? What about that? I mean, there is going to be a point in your life where you're not going to be able to prepare for everything. There's going to be a point in your life where you just either going to have to pray or you're going to have to find a way. We used to call this adapt and overcome. December 22 of 2004, around 3:10 p.m., we were attacked by a car bomb, and everything that could have gone wrong went wrong, and we had to readjust. I mean, the radios didn't work, the cell phone didn't work, nothing. The Blue 4 tracker didn't work. We had no communication. The medevac didn't work. I mean, everything went wrong, and the reality is that we had to readjust and make sure that we adapt and overcome. And that's why you have to train yourself. That's why you have to be the tool. That's why you have to be not the tool, but the weapon. because you're going to have to make decisions. I get asked all the time, hey, what do I do if I run out of rounds? Well, if you run out of rounds, you do whatever you have to do to survive. I don't care what it is. This gun just became a tool, a hammer, and you're gonna fight with this. I mean, whatever you have to do to survive, you do that, and it is what it is. So, attack happened in Iraq. I won't say the location because it would be too much, but it happened in Iraq. All right, so again, let me know what you think. If you want to support the channel, definitely like the video. Let me see something. If you want to, like the video, share the videos, continue to stay tuned. We'll continue to release video almost every day. I've been releasing videos. Sometimes I kind of miss Sundays. I just can't keep up with more videos, but I've been releasing at least 4 to 5 videos pretty much every single day. Just stay tuned. It's going to be 7 p.m. Eastern time. As always, that's kind of what I'm going to stay to. Other than this, I always going to stay around that time, 7 p.m. Eastern time. That seems to be a good time for everyone. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying the videos. If there's anything you guys want me to talk about it, obviously put it in the comments. A lot of times what I do is that I take a picture of the comment and I put it on the videos to do. I got a bazillion videos that I want to do in the channel, so I put it there, and eventually I get to it, and eventually I talk about it, about that stuff. So again, wow, I don't know what happened there. So again, let me know what you think. If you want to be a patron of the channel, I'm going to put links down below as always. And again, be paying attention out there, guys. I mean, there's a lot of things going on. And don't rely so much on the guns. A lot of times we rely on the tools. A lot of times we rely on it's just the M&P shield, or maybe a Glock 17, or maybe I have to get this gun, or maybe some of you guys are talking about maybe I have to get a revolver, or I don't have so much capacity. Sometimes we get too stuck on those things. Just remember, you are the weapon. You are the one that's going to make decisions. And sometimes making sure that your mind and your physical fitness is on point is going to be the best way to support or to survive some type of situation. So again, appreciate you guys watching. And as always, guys, God is in control.